Whoa, that's so funny. I just answered that like with exactly that terminology. I said it was like a dream, and I said it was like a nightmare at the same time. And I would say that's kind of indicative of the movie and indicative of all of Knight's movies, is that there's parts of it that feel idyllic and kind of gorgeous and almost serene to the point of it's like ethereal, and that it's kind of like almost feels uneasy in how beautiful it is. And then it gets super dark. And I feel that is what this movie has. And shooting there was the same thing. Like we swim in between takes and all those, fun stuff, and being on a beach and getting all tan and nice. And then the set would wash away and it'd rain 9 times a day, and it would just be a nightmare.
This film really capitalizes on everybody's fear of getting older and dying. What to you is scary about that?
Dying? I mean, dying is pretty scary. I mean...
Some people would be like, I'm tired, this may be nice.
No, dying sounds like, it's like in Midnight in Paris, Owen Wilson's like, Ernest Hemingway's like, you're afraid of dying? And Owen Wilson's like, yeah, I'd say it's like one of my main fears. That's how I feel. I'm like, yeah, I'd say it's like one of my main fears. Isn't everybody a little scared of dying? I guess I'm not. I'm probably more afraid of balding than I am of dying, but that's true. I'm probably more afraid of balding than dying. Not that anything's wrong with being bald, it's just getting older, some of those vain things are a little scary. Dying's scary, and I'd say I have trypophobia. I'm kind of scared of like little tiny little bumps next to each other. I'd say I'm scared of that more than, do you too?
No, my best friend Anna.
Yeah, I have it really, really bad. It's like, I can't, it really scares me. So I'm scared of that stuff more than dying, and I'm also scared of like cockroaches. But I'm not like scared of cockroaches, I'm horrified by them. Like when I see a big one, and then death is like 4th or 5th.
Well, that's fun when you're in paradise, because there's lots of cockroaches in paradise too.
There weren't that many cockroaches there. Not that many cockroaches, a lot of little trypophobia things, and death was imminent a lot, but big deal. Who cares?
Another big theme in this movie is family and parenthood. How did that resonate with you?
I mean, I think, going back and re-examining some of the things about myself when I was a young kid, around 6 or 7, was one of the more humbling and anxiety-inducing and kind of exhilarating, refreshing experiences of my life. Just like going back and seeing how I was and how much I'd changed, how much I didn't change, how often. I feel like when I get up in the morning, I am that age again, and then slowly the day beats you into being more, I guess, whatever age you are. But I believe that before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, I'm kind of still 6, 7. And then it kind of, the day just kind of knocks you down to being whatever age you are.
I was just listening to this podcast where they were talking about how the older people get, the less interest they have in time travel. They don't want to go forward, they don't want to go back, they just want what is right here and right now. And
is that true?
According to NPR.
I feel like if I talk to people, like a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could go back to when I was 20 years old and we had to use hamburger buns as our shoes.
They went to an old age home in Brooklyn and everyone was like, no.
They're lying. They're lying. Full of shit. Yeah. No way. They're all lying. Why? You interviewed a bunch of liars.
I didn't interview them. NPR.
Oh, it's the podcast, right? NPR interviewed. Listen here, NPR. Your people that you interviewed were lying. When people are 70, I mean, maybe they're enjoying it, but they wouldn't want to like go back in time for a little bit, go back to the 50s, where cigarettes you just have to pay like $0.25 or something.
Nonetheless, since being in the moment is a big theme in this movie, did making it in any way change your relationship with how you spend your time?
No, I don't feel that it changed my relationship with how I spend my time, but I felt it did change my relationship with how I view myself as a child, and I think that we shy away from it way more than we realize. I think we're terrified of maybe regressing back into what we were as kids. I think we're constantly, like when I meet someone, I can feel if they don't like themselves as a kid. Like I can feel it when they're, some people, hi, nice to meet you. They're really I'm an adult. Did you know that? I'm an adult and I do adult things. Have you seen my suit? It's very adult. I got it at an adult store and my briefcase. You know, a lot of people are like very scared of, and I realized, oh man, I was kind of scared. Like, you know, I noticed after I watched the footage of myself as a kid, I'd be really calm and try and be like really collected. Because as a kid, I was a hyperactive little shithead. And so I found that, you know, it was acceptance. It was a process of acceptance. But I don't feel like it didn't make me feel more in the moment. I think it more had me grapple with the past more. And I uncovered a lot of painful memories that I think I'd shoved in the deep back closets of my mind.
One of the other things that's so impressive about this movie is that you have this incredibly diverse cast from around the world. Why do you think it's important to tell a story like this through those different vantage points?
That's a really good question. Well, I think what's cool about it is that's just part of the DNA of the movie. It's barely even addressed. You know, it's like, that's not really the focus of the movie. It's not a movie about diversity or a movie about, you know, really anything about that. It just happens to be the people. You know, it's like a realistic representation. It probably would be the crew of people. And I think it's cool that it's not even really discussed. It's more just a part of the DNA of the movie.